All right, there we go. We're live now. I don't know why the video opening didn't happen, but we're here. We were talking about mod. So hello, if anyone's in the channel, thanks for hanging out. If you're not in the channel and you're watching this later on YouTube and such, thanks for watching it there. A lot of people are watching it there. A lot of people are complimenting Jeremy, so I'm very, I don't know how I feel about this, but I guess that's okay. Like, we'll have to. Yeah, it's strange. But anyway, we're continuing our alien kind of space trucker campaign. Look at all these Prime subs. Thanks for that Prime sub there, Matt. And I think Melissa did a sub earlier too.
Yep.
Thank you for that. But yeah, we're continuing our alien campaign, our space trucker campaign. Hopefully I can get a TPK tonight, and we'll see how that goes. But before we get into what the story's about and all that kind of stuff, we'll do the classic. Now Adam did it too, and now we got a hype train. Oh, look,
There's a hype train.
You guys are
Hurry.
so nice. Very nice, everybody. While the hype train's going, let's just do introductions. So tell us who you are. If you've got something that you've got coming up that you want to plug it, and who you playing. So we'll just go by the overlay. So you're up, Jeremy.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear, only Jeff hates me, or at least not everybody hates me.
I don't hate you. That's
it's
a
okay.
Strong word.
You just want to kill me. I get it. It's fine. Yeah, I get to play games with these people all the time. Adam tolerates me over at Grim and Perilous as well.
Tolerates you very much.
Work with Matt and another buddy to do the Plewdcast, talking about comics, PLEWD cast. And
we don't tolerate Jeremy there.
I mean, I'm broadly tolerated. That's my special skill. And then I'm going to be playing Chet, who is probably not very well tolerated. He's slightly less charismatic than myself. He's just like a little bratty kid who's the son of our corporate man here.
I feel like Chet actually. I don't know. I thought he won some people over last app. Like first app, it was a little rough. But like last app, it felt like he was getting on people's good sides, right?
Maybe. I did get Big E to give me $1, and I felt like that was a big step because now I'm a professional.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I loved how you used. I love how we use like you earned $1. Like I guess that means you made money, so you get XP
You are
for
professional.
that. That's the only time we're doing that, just so everyone's clear. But okay. Did you get any new?
I would abuse the system.
You? No. Did you get any cool new things this week? Like, did you buy anything with XP or something?
Oh, yeah, I did. So it seems like this is a situation where, I just need to be faster than everybody else. So I took fast reflexes so that I'm not saying I want other people to get eaten, but if somebody's going to get eaten, it's not going to be me.
It's going to be Eugene.
I mean, I'm okay if people get eaten like that. I mean, it's good for the show, right? Like that's really all we should care about.
Yeah.
But all right, right on. And I think as we last left off, Chet, you were still in kind of event area working with Big E. So that's what we're going to go to next. So Adam, what's going on?
Lots is going on. I play Eugene, and he's otherwise known as Big E, and he's a roughneck, and he's just looking out for his fellow crew members and teaching the young ones how to take care of a synth with a bad attitude, and paying him for it too. That way he can be professional.
Yeah.
And what I'd like to promote is I would like to promote a Kickstarter that's coming up that we will be live playing a game for called 3, 2, 1 Action. And that's a game made by John, otherwise known as Hambone McGuire. And you can check it out this coming Saturday, 9 o'clock Central on the Grim and Perilous Plays channel. But I'm putting the Kickstarter up there. It's not live yet. You can follow it if you want to. And then I'd also like to promote Jeff. I think that people, if you're leaving comments for Jeremy, you may as well leave some comments for Jeff because he's a fantastic GM.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you to say. Adam, you also have been getting a lot. Big E's been getting some love lately as well, too.
Yeah,
people like your down home southerny voice. Very
Thank you so
much.
much.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, the alien game's doing pretty well on the old YouTubes. We're getting a decent amount of people who are commenting, which is really nice. That's cool. So if you're one of those people who are not watching it live, that's cool. You're watching it, so that's great as well. All right. So, did you get anything new this week? Did Big E buy anything new?
Uh, no, I I didn't get enough. I don't have enough experience for that new job,
Mm-hmm.
so they wanted me to get the experience before I got the new job, but I can't get the new job without the experience.
Yeah, that's understandable. It's a little. I've noticed that it's kind of a little harder to get some XP for some of these things in campaign, like with like the agendas and stuff. They're a little
Yeah,
harder than in cinematics when everything's kind of super focused around them, so everything's a little broader. We'll try to tweak those as we go
nope.
so that we have more time, more
No, it's
opportunities.
all good. I've been getting plenty of experience and having fun. That's really all I.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well, that's about to change. So
good.
let's go ahead and move it on over, Melissa.
So I'm playing Clover. Clover is the kind of scientist of the group. She's had a couple slow episodes, similarly, kind of with the experience, like not necessarily doing a lot of things to earn a lot of experience to be able to get some level ups, but she's definitely keeping an eye on the new additions to the group. She now has a new rival. Big E kind of started the campaign as the rival, but we've definitely come to see that we are, better together to, work out our problems. And now Chet is the new rival.
Yeah, I like how your rival is a kid.
Yeah, it's more of the like who annoys the shit out of me, I think, is really what it was. Because I don't know that Big E was necessarily like a rival per se, but just he irritated the shit out of me before. And now I see the benefit of working with him and
Yeah, the
he really
devil that you
likes me.
know, or something, right?
Something
This
along
is
those lines.
okay. Then let's go bottom row, Jen.
Hey everybody, I'm Jen. I play on Twitch on my channel Pixel Brawler. Tonight I'm playing Veronica Marsbar Wesson. She's a doctor, and yeah, try to get out of a tight spot, but didn't quite work.
Do you
You know,
remember what you and Clover saw last time around? What fun thing the two of you got to see in the game? It's something that you. It's a face hugger.
oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. We finally got to see like a xenomorph thing, which was pretty fun. I think I
I was
described it as a big
thinking
hand.
blinking lights, because I've never experienced blinking lights before. Yeah,
So
it's not in my
excited.
history to have seizures, but I've never been around blinking lights.
I thought you were faking that seizure. And then the crocodile
No, of
tears.
course not. That's what the pill in my mouth was for.
Right.
That was pretty good. That was a fun scene. All right, let's keep going, Matt.
I am playing Silas Worthington, a company agent who has been sent here to watch the crew because they have a terrible track record for completing jobs. Something always seems to go wrong. So Wayland Yutani has sent myself and my son Chet here to become the newest members of the ship. What do I got going on? I don't think I have anything going on this week other than this. Pludcast. I saw hey, the logo's on the overlay.
Yeah.
That looks snazzy there, Jeff. Thank you.
Does.
Yeah.
Pludcast, new episode dropping probably this week or next week. And starting next week, you can find Jeff and I over on Garblike Games doing the Masks of Nyarlathotep ultra crazy ultimate Cthulhu campaign
Yeah.
starting next week at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're on the same time zone.
Yeah,
aren't we,
you and I are in the
Jeff?
same time
2:30
zone,
for us. 2:30 Central. So in the middle of the afternoon, we're playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
UK friendly, European friendly.
The benefits of teaching online instead of in person as I get my afternoons. So it's great.
That's right. I did buy a new talent as well. Now that I found out
yeah?
my leftover experience, and I bought Take Control.
What does that do?
So that means I can use my manipulation. No, I'm sorry. I can use my wits instead of empathy when rolling manipulation rolls.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think company agents have empathy, so that's
No.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
I think that fits. I think that also probably speaks to your parenting ability with Chet. No empathy whatsoever. Oh gosh, fantastic. Right now, like I think that you and Clover and Veronica are on the Cleety Asylum all by yourselves. You could just leave. And now you're the captain, and everyone else is left behind.
Yes.
And then speaking of the captain, the new captain, not the old captain. It's Chuck. What's going on, Chuck?
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I'm Chuck. I run Defenders of Kobold. Catch me out Wednesday for some Rime of the Frostmaiden with Weird Frontiers. No, that's Wednesday. Catch me Wednesday for that game. And then Friday, we're running our Evil 5th Ed campaign. I don't know. I'm playing the new captain, Frenchie. At first, I really thought I was going to hate Silas. I don't know. After last session, it might change my mind. Yeah, I was going to say, like,
Thank you.
It
Frenchie.
definitely turned my opinion around.
What specifically turned your opinion around? I'm kind of curious.
It was the
I didn't
him
care that
willing
he
to-
gave my son booze and I gave my son a gun. Was that what?
yeah.
or-
Well, that was it. That was just amusing. But it was when we were digging through the navigation logs and stuff and the engine diagnostics, and you were relaying information for me.
Yeah.
You seemed like a decent dude then.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
two were on the bridge of the Lavenza, digging through some logs and such. Yeah. Doing some repairs. Okay. All right. Did you get anything new? Anything new for Frenchie this week?
Yeah. What did I get? I got a skill that right now, or talent right now, will do nothing for me, but I have to take it. Spaceship Commander. But it doesn't do anything till we're in space combat. So.
Oh. Well, I mean, I could make that happen. I don't think you guys would fare particularly well. You have no armament.
No.
So. But
We're gonna
it's
have to figure that
possible.
out. But if it ever comes to it, I have it.
I like it.
That way, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'd always
Did we have to
appreciate.
call you Commander now? Is that why you got it?
I don't think so. Just call me Frenchie.
He's
It's
just
fine.
so chill. He's such a chill.
Yeah.
He went to a business meeting wearing a Tommy Bahama shirt. It was great.
I was gonna say you can tell by my Hawaiian shirt. I'm just a cool dude.
So good. All right, and I'm Jeff. So you're on the channel. If you're watching this live, we do all sorts of different things. A lot of free league games, as you can see here. I think the next game we're playing on this channel is probably on Friday this week. I think at like I don't know 7 Central or something. I think we're playing some more Best Left Buried. And then next Monday you can check us on the Free League Publishing channel, playing some Vaesen, and then I'm in a bunch of these wonderful people's games as well. So let's dive in to what's going on. So just a quick summary. I kind of like jotted some key bits to review here. So Frenchie, as we said, is the new captain, but he's been assigned a company agent, Silas, to kind of supervise him during a probationary period, figure out his new, this new managerial stuff, figure out why the crew is just not being efficient and not representing proper Weyland-Yutani protocols when they're representing the company on specific jobs. Now, after the takeover, you're all on Anchor Point Station. You picked up 2 jobs before you left. One, this is the dangerous one. It was actually classified until after you had already gone into FTL. But you are to deliver a group of Weyland-Yutani mercs. Oh, thank you for those bits there, Captain Carriot. But you're all supposed to deliver a dog catching unit, kind of the nickname, but Weyland corporate mercs, to a science vessel called the Lavenza that had showed up on the network. There was a ping on the network, and it was overdue. It's coming from somewhere. No one knows. I mean, people know, but you all don't. But it came from somewhere, doing some sort of hush-hush mission, and you all are carrying this dog-catching crew. It's about 12 people or so, 10, 12 people, mostly soldiers, couple scientists and doctors, one fewer doctor now. They're led by Colonel Zona Winters, and you all are basically just supposed to lend aid, help them get Lavenza up and running so that the dog catching crew can bring the ship back, and that's your gig. It's just to sort of lend assistance as you can. The other job you got was to deliver some building materials back to a planet called Tanaka 5 that you've already been to, where you can help them with some of the geological instability they've been having on the planet, some stuff to reinforce a few of their buildings. Now, when you arrived at Lilavenza, the dog catching unit went onto the ship, did a little sweep. Then you all started coming onto the ship because there was a lot of damage. Big E was asked to help figure out what's going on with the power. It looks like the FTL drives were mostly intact, but for some reason power wasn't being distributed across the ship properly. Frenchie and Silas were up on the bridge, kind of going through some navigation logs, trying to figure out just what happened, because there's no crew. You haven't been able to find any crew. And then Veronica and Clover were kind of going through like some of the labs. This is a ship that's got a bunch of different labs in it, medical labs, science labs, and there's two places. There's like this one set of containment labs, science labs that were being heavily guarded by these mercs that wouldn't let anyone in. One of those doors into one of these labs looks damaged in some way. That lab also had like a doctor in it as well, who was like really excited about getting to work with Wayland Yutani. And then there was some sort of weird skittering sound, and Clover and Veronica and this poor young man were all attacked by what we know is a face hugger, and he was mowed down by those mercs like it was just anything else you would do. So other things, Silas and Frenchie, you found some logs. You delivered them to Zona, and Mother is kind of going through them as well. Big E and Chet went through found a conduit deep in the bowels of the ship that was sabotaged, it seems, by one of these working Joe androids, of which there are dozens that have been ripped apart in various places on the ship. And for some reason, they sabotaged this particular junction box for some reason. And you also found some C4. And then at the end of the episode, Silas, Veronica, Clover went back to the Kalidi Sinum, whereas Frenchie was called down to the water recycling tanks, where it appears there was some kind of hull breach. And looking through a viewing port, both Frenchie and Colonel Winters saw that the interior of this water recycling tank was coated in some kind of strange sticky resin. And you found some of the crew, apparently, because they were trapped within this resin. And that's where we left off. Did I forget anything? I think that's
pretty thorough, yeah.
That's pretty much everything. So I think everyone's up to date. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to get started right on that scene with Frenchie, because this won't take long, because he's dead. All right, no. Okay, just getting some spooky music going. So there's Zona Winters. She's looking in. You two just looked at this. She's like, "You ever seen anything like this?" You said no, and that was apparently the right answer. She gets on her radio. She calls out the name of two other mercs, and they verify, and they're going to come down. And she's like, meet us over at starboard side, and kind of calls out a specific exterior hatch. And she turns over to you, Frenchie, and she says, kind of with like a grin on her face, because she's been getting along with Frenchie. She's got a grin on her face. She's like, "Fancy going for a walk?"
If that's the task of the day, then I guess that's the task of the day.
All right, then. You're a good sport. Kind of claps you on the back a little bit. You hear a chuckle.
Yeah.
And the two of you head for the hatch to go do an EVA. You still have your suits. Everyone who came over had their suits on. You might have taken a helmet off or something like that, but you have your suits. So you and two others are going to go ahead and do an EVA. So then we'll shift over into the conduit area, where Chet and Big E have been staring at this now defeated working Joe android. And you saw this conduit. It clearly was sabotaged in some way presumably by this working Joe android. You think it's fixable, but it is kind of peculiar why this conduit exactly. So if you want, the two of you want to spend some time, you can go ahead and one of you can roll a heavy machinery while the other assists to try to kind of repair this area. And if you get, and extra successes might get you some extra information. So whoever wants to roll that heavy machinery.
I think I'll let Biggie take the lead, but I'll hand you tools and stuff here and there, give you an extra hand.
Perfect.
Well, if I remember right. All right, now, see that area up in there? That's where you just need to turn it a little bit with your smaller hands. Now, I want you to turn it from here just down to there, no further, all right? So, here we go. We're going to do this together, all right?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so get to add +1 for...
Yeah, for the little
His
guy
help.
giving you a
Okay.
hand. It's kind of tight quarters. Remember that this thing was kind of ripped in two. You were fighting the torso, but the legs were also like shorted out nearby. You want to push? There will be a benefit to getting more successes.
You can do it.
All right.
Oh.
Go ahead,
So-
roll panic.
Wow.
So what's it mean when you get those 3 ones?
There's no basically all you have to do is roll panic.
Okay,
we-
so it
yeah.
doesn't add to the number or anything?
I think it'll automatically kick up your I think the sheet automatically kicks up what needs to get kicked up, so you should be
Okay.
good to go. So just
All
roll
Let's
the
just do
roll
this.
the word that says stress,
Let's do it.
and you'll. Hey there, Bert. How's it going?
Oh.
Okay. All right.
See how it is. Bert.
Nice.
You're a kid, Chuck. Yeah. No, yeah. It's we'll say at a certain point, as you're kind of trying to fix this thing, you can tell that there's a huge short, and it was so close to this frayed wire, like just landing right on the sort of the sheet of metal that you're crawling through, that it could have just lit you and Chet up. That it kind of freaks you out at the last moment. You manage to grab it by the the wrapping, and everything's okay. Everything's okay.
Yeah, I know. I grab it and I like yank Chet's arm back forcefully.
What? I only turned it to here.
That ain't your fault. You did it right. You see this right here? As I point to what I'm holding on to.
Oh.
If that would have gone any further, then you and I would have been.
Bacon?
Well, I mean, we'd have been baking like if you set it in the oven and went away for a couple hours. You
Yeah.
don't do that.
You can go ahead and take a point of stress now, Chet, just for him kind of explaining how close you were to being fried as a young boy.
Okay.
You didn't get any extra successes, but you are able to fix it. It takes a little longer than you would have liked, but it is kind of tight quarters. It probably slowed you down a bit. But I would say there's something kind of nagging at you, like, why this particular conduit? But you're not really sure. If you start digging into some of the schematics of the ship, maybe if you get down to the engineering area, kind of look at some things, maybe you'll be able to pick up on it there. But there's just back of your mind, like, there's so many of these other power conduits, they're all throughout the ship, and it's just one specific place. It kind of seems like it's almost in the middle of nowhere. Like, it doesn't seem to be next to a necessary system. If someone wanted to do real harm to the ship, they could have put it a lot of other places that would have done way more harm. But there's something about this. So once you get back to engineering, I'll give you another kind of roll to look up on that if you want.
Is
Okay,
there a way? Oh, sorry.
All right, so we got to have ourselves a little talk, okay? So this is your first job as a professional, right? Okay. So is this your first time killing something?
Is something bigger than like insects? Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, even though it's synthetic, it still is something. We killed it. It's your first time almost dying?
No.
Okay. Well, let's talk about killing something for a little bit. What that does to you. You gotta bear in mind that, and he'll go on for like a good 10 minutes or so. as I'm going to try and use my counselor trait while we
Aw.
cool off for a little bit to lose some stress.
That sounds great. Yeah, perfect.
What are you doing? What are these nice words you're saying?
So let's see. With counselor, it says once per turn, you can use the command skill to reduce the stress level of another character within short range.
Yeah, turns like 10 minutes ish kind of deal.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
let's see if I can do that.
You
So I
did.
reduce his stress level by 1 extra step for each one. So I reduce his by 2 in addition to what you normally reduce it by. And since this seems to be pretty important, I'm gonna invoke the long haul trait to where I ignore ones
Okay, so you'll ignore
for
that.
1 row.
Okay,
Mhm. I can't do that again this session.
fair
but
enough. All right, I'll go ahead and get rid of that so
Okay.
we don't see the blinking.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine. I've got this. And thank you.
So when you take a moment, you reduce it by 1 normally?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, partner. I wish somebody had that talk with me when it was my first time killing something, but well, killing deer still need to know. You know, I ain't that good at this stuff, but all right, you ready to get to engineering?
Yeah. Are we gonna bring this thing's head? Is there a way that we can like get information out of this thing's head?
Indeed, yeah. If the head is the most important part, so if you want to take the head with you, some contact rolls later, you might be able to dig into some things for sure.
Well, it's got a mouth on it, don't it?
Why?
Well, it'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah, grab the head.
Okay.
Weird question. I didn't like the question.
It's wonderful logic.
Okay, so Chet and Biggie start climbing back. They're carrying the head of this android. Let's shift over to the Khalidi Sinum, where Silas and Clover and Veronica Marsbar are hanging out. Veronica, could you go ahead and make a stamina test for me? As you're starting to get a little, like, you're looking down at your hands are kind of shaking a little bit. I mean, you faked the seizure, but it was kind of stressful what just happened. So, okay. You want to push that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you can your hand, like, you feel like an intense craving at this point for, like, you got to hit some no sleep. Like, it's been a while. You're kind of jonesing for a hit a little bit, but you managed to kind of to sort of be patient, mind over matter kind of thing going on, do some breathing techniques. But you know that probably sometime within this shift, you're probably gonna have to dig into that. So I don't know what your supply is like on this ship, but it's possible there could be others elsewhere. So Silas, you're on board, and so the three of you just got on, off the Lavenza. You're kind of moving probably up towards the bridge or some other place, one of your labs, and you come into contact with Esther. And so as you get off one of the lifts, there's Esther standing in front of you with her uncanny valley face. It doesn't look quite right. And she says, "Oh, hello, Mr. Worthington. Mother has a message for Captain Frenchy, but I suppose, given your status, that you might also be interested in. Do you have access?"
Do.
You do have some access, yeah. So yeah, there's a message from Mother. So she says, it is of some urgency.
Okay. I will go see Mother.
Okay. So you head over to Mother, go inside, you pop in your code. Everyone's got their own specialized code, and it lets you in. You also probably could get this in your VIP. You probably could get access to certain things in that. But
Okay.
but as you start reading this message, it turns out that that Mother has apparently picked up another ping on network nearby, and it's distress signal. It's kind of some automated, pretty generic distress signal that's just ever so barely on the outskirts of sensor range. Doesn't appear that there's any other vessels that are in the area that have responded to it. But yeah, it just seems like there's another ship nearby. And she also starts quoting to various regulations, interstellar regulations about, having to respond or else suffering certain penalties, etc. You can forfeit entire share if you don't properly respond, and stuff that you would definitely know. And then she also says, while you're here, and I have finished reviewing some of the logs from the Lavenza. And then there's a yes or no question. Should I display?
Yes.
Okay. So you start going through some of the logs and the notes that she was, because you and Frenchie managed to get access, but there was so much of it that you forwarded it over to Mother. Neither of you really wanted to dig too into it. You're like, nope. I think there was a kind of a general idea that with the Colonel around, you didn't really want to look like you were snooping. But apparently one of the reasons that she's bringing this up is that apparently the Lavenza also had received some kind of distress signal, which caused its drive to automatically kick it out of FTL, as is commonplace within a particular radius. And it seems that the location of this distress signals aligns, so it might be the same one. Doesn't make sense why necessarily this distress signal was not turned off, but yes, it appears there is both a distress signal you're getting, and the log suggests that the Lavenza also received this distress signal.
Okay. Interesting. All right, I'll take that information and I'll leave Mother, and I will radio over to the other ship. I want to radio over to the commander of the Marine troop.
Okay, Colonel Winters, and so she comes on, and she's it's kind of a patchy sound, and she's like, yeah, Mr. Worthington, and right now, if this was like a movie, we would cut and we'd see 4 people in their EVA suits doing a little walk along the side of the actual ship of Lavenza, and as we're zooming out, there's all sorts of damage and explosive decompression and stuff, and she's like, can this wait, Mr. Worthington? Kind of busy right now.
We just picked up a distress signal not too far from here, and as you know, it is protocol that we have to look into it. Can I take my crew and ship to go investigate?
You can hear her kind of, she just the slightest bit of an exhale as she's thinking. What's the source of this distress signal? We got any kind of ship identification?
Did I get a ship identification?
You did not. It was
I did not, but the previous ship, the Lavenza, also picked up the same distress signal.
Roll a comm-tech there, Silas.
I'm good at that.
Yeah. Based upon where this was located, trying to do some basic math. It's within shift range. Like, it's not like super nearby, but it's within, like, a shift is like 10 hours. You could get without going into FTL, without getting the displacement drives spooled up. You could probably get the ship there if you wanted. So why don't you roll a manipulation, see if you can convince this tough as nails.
I get to use my wits instead of my empathy.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 4 successes.
Okay. She says, all right, that sounds good. Just check in, keep radio contact every couple hours. We're going ahead inspecting some damage here. Looks like most of the ship's intact. We got some explosive decompression areas here. She's just kind of going through a nonsense checklist, but all right, we'll just check in every couple hours.
10-4.
Okay. Do you let anybody else on the crew know? That wasn't an open channel, so it's just right now. It's just something that you and the colonel would know.
I will relay this information to Mars and Clover.
Okay.
Let them know that we picked up a distress signal. As they know, this is protocol. We have to take a look at it. If you don't want to forfeit shares and mess up like we have on every other job, get prepared because we're going to go check this out.
That's my dad.
It's so good. Clover and Veronica, you're on the Cleety Sinum. Are you good to stay on the Cleety Sinum with him? Esther is here as well. Your onboard android.
It's an order.
Are there any? Yeah, I'll just make sure I've kind of reloaded my pistol.
Okay.
Try to make sure we're ready to go.
It's going to take a couple hours to get to the signal. It's not like you're in space, so it's going to take a little bit of time. Traditional drives. Okay.
So the question was, are we okay to stay on the ship?
Yeah, I was just
Yes.
asking, are you cool to stay with Silas on this, or if you're...
Or
Yeah,
go back
let's
to
do
the
the
one with the
ship.
face hugger.
Okay.
We get there and not getting off the ship, but yeah.
All right. So you go ahead and you take some time to disconnect the umbilical, make sure the ships aren't there, push away with some maneuvering thrusters, and then you start heading out. No problem. Do any of the three of you have piloting?
No.
Esther can do it in a
No.
pinch.
I'm the pilot.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
You're-
Frenchie.
you are the definition of essential worker, Frenchie.
I am captain and pilot.
Exactly.
What does piloting fall under? Agility? Oof.
Yeah. You can let Esther do it, but I'll tell you, that ain't her specialty.
Yeah, I mean, I would have just my agility, which is
Okay.
a 3.
I have a 3 as well.
Most of this can be automated. It's not that big a deal, but it might come in handy at some point. Okay. And then as you're leaving range, you'll hear Clover that the radio will kick in. It's one of the Marines, and this is just sort of open channel, and this is basically to Clover and Veronica, and they just say, when you were over on the Venture, when was the last time you saw Dr. Shit, I can't. Not Chapman. Everyone knows where Chapman is. You seen Dr. Ying Sui? And you haven't. You just absolutely have not.
No,
Yeah, thank you.
we did not.
All right, copy that. All right, well, happy voyage. And then
Did you check the vents?
why would she be in the
Seems
vents?
like a place they'd be at this point.
She's a biologist.
There could be something in the vent.
All right, copy that. I guess we're checking the vents. It's the 10-4, and they're out. Let's cut over to Frenchie. Frenchie, take a point of stress. It's an EVA. It's a little tense.
Yeah, you
And
got
not only that, but as you're out here, looking around, moving along, there goes your ship. You see your ship flying away.
Well, I had a good run as captain.
It's like a week and a half. Ah, so
You were
good.
asleep for most of it.
It's true. It's true. Okay, go ahead and while you're moving across, go ahead and roll an observation test.
Sure. There it is.
You got these gung ho.
One success.
Okay. You notice that as you're moving along the starboard side of the ship, on the outside, there's sign of damage. Now this is a science vessel. This is not a marine vessel. This has, as far as you're aware, and you were on the bridge going through stuff, no armament. This is not a combat vessel.
Right.
But there is a significant amount of damage to the ship. Some of it looks superficial, but others don't. There's definitely a couple hull breaches, or what you would think are near hull breaches. You probably make a mental note to make sure those things get looked at on the inside as well, and especially for Big E, take a gander at it. But you do see quite a bit of damage. Good.
Is this does this damage looks like it was inflicted from the outside in or inside out, like something ruptured and exploded out of the ship?
Okay, with the one success, I'll say that when you get to the hull breach that you all are going to, which is a very noticeable one,
Yeah.
which is by the water recycling facility, it definitely, you can, just from looking at it, you can tell as you're going in, this looks to you like inside out. Like this is explosive,
It ruptured.
yeah, decompression from the inside out. And as you approach, you can see that they immediately got all these little spotlights start kicking on. They have much finer suits than you.
Right.
But they start shining their light inside now. What looks like this very large, almost like a septic tank, this massively long septic tank. And you can see as the light starts shining over that there's all of these people inside that are they're exposed. They're certainly dead. They're exposed to vacuum at this point. But there's like some sort of residue that seems to be holding them in place against the walls. And there's little particulate matter that's kind of floating, and you can see occasional things pop up. As you're sitting there, you're like floating there looking in. But this is the only one I would say that one success would give you, that this was explosive decompression.
Okay. Yeah. I've got a flashlight too, so I'll also be peering in.
Okay.
That way I don't look like a big chicken to my new Marine friends.
Okay.
And I would ask, like, I've never seen anything like this. What would do that?
And you hear her say, "What indeed? Let's go take a closer look." And then she just propels herself inside, and then the other Marines start going in with her. The other mercs, I should say, start going in with her.
Chuck knows this answer.
Sure.
But does this stuff that's holding them to the wall, my initial thought, like spider webs, does it look organic, or does it look like a chemical explosion or something? Like they had a crate of that great stuff, foam sealant, that just exploded and spackled them to the walls.
These are some great questions you're asking. Let's do like observation, or maybe survival. Clover, what do you roll when you do science identification? What is it? Is it survival? Because I know you're the scientist.
Observation.
Observation. Go ahead and roll observation, French. Okay, go ahead.
Success.
Okay, go ahead and roll your stress as you are floating into. Okay. What would you have been carrying? Would you have had you said you had a flashlight or something?
I have my flashlight.
Okay.
Hang on, I got a bunch of stuff. I got a service pistol, flashlight. I got my E-series watch, and I got a diagnostic device.
I think the watch would be fine because it's inside the suit. Because it would be on your wrist. We'll do a one. We'll do a D6. We'll say if I roll a 1, it's the pistol. If it's 2 to 4, it's the flashlight. If it's 5, 6, it's the other thing.
Sure.
I roll a 5, 6, so it's a diagnostic. So as you're floating in, you don't notice that there is a small bit of the panel that's jutting out, and you've got your diagnostic tool on your tool belt that's wrapped around your EVA, and maybe you don't even notice right away that it gets snagged, but it does. It gets snagged on it, and it just starts to drift away before you notice it, and it's gone. But you did succeed. And when you get inside and you start looking at this resin, you start maybe poking around with it with like a flashlight or something. This it's hard to say, but it certainly looks organic. Like you can't think of anything that the ship can produce that would do this. Doesn't look like anything that would be explosive. It's got a strange kind of glossiness to it, and when you poke at it with some of your tools or whatever you might have, they kind of get stuck, and you can kind of understand now why these people managed to somehow survive, or at least remain within these little sacks without getting blown out into space. And I'll also give you, with what you rolled, because you rolled 3 successes, you notice that they all have like a couple of them have a very strange, very clear wound that is this big hole right in their sternum chest area, right above their abdomen, kind of right in that area. It's just exploding. You can see like the rib cage bone ripping out as if it was some freak accident of explosive decompression.
Okay. Yeah. I will muse that to myself out loud. I don't want to like, hey, do you guys see this? But I'll be like, oh, this stuff looks organic. Maybe it's really sticky. I bet Clover would love to get this in her lab. And I've never seen a decompression chest wound like this before. This is wild.
And one of them, one of the other mercs is like, decompression. And then Zona's like, just kind of turns her head, doesn't even have to say anything, just sort of turns her head towards him. There's this big flash of light right above her, like almost like a miner's helmet that lands right in the guy. He's like, whoop, sorry, Colonel. But she says, that's good thinking, Frenchie. Why don't we go ahead and start pulling some of these folks off. Let's go ahead and start doing that. You got any tools on you? And that's when you notice
I'm missing my electronic or my data pad.
That's all right. And she starts pulling out she got all these different things around her, like almost like Batman's utility belt. She starts pulling things out and we'll say that you take some time to start hacking away and carving out some of these people.
Okay.
Take a point of stress for that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not terrifying
that's
at all.
not all.
Clover's going to be so excited to get these.
Okay. All right. So we're going to cut over then to Chet and Big E. Chet and Big E. You make it to engineering. There was one other person that was here when you left, but they don't seem to be here anymore. And it's just the two of you. You start messing around with some of the consoles, and you can see that more of them are on. You start checking power flow. Seems to be working okay. You can actually do a proper assessment of the displacement drive, and you can also kind of dig in to some of the manuals here and kind of go through the schematics of the ship. So one of you can do one thing, one of you can another, or if there's something else you want to do, that's something that I didn't mention.
Good. So you said there was somebody who was here before, like there was.
Yeah, when you guys left, there was kind of a merc that was here with you, and they're not here now.
Okay, now I'm not saying that what we're doing is in any way wrong, but let's like look this up real quick before the Brute Squad comes back.
The Brute Squad.
Look this up.
I mean, let's get into the system. Let's see what we find.
Or how about this? As I set the head on the counter and I hook like I pull like a wire from like the speaker on the console and I hook one end up to the head and then the other end up to the head so that now I know that this can then like make the sound waves come out of that speaker.
I mean, kind of. Actually, look, so I think I've got this.
Why don't you talk to this thing, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll check on the ship, but you can see if you get this thing talking.
Okay. So just to be clear, that this is going to take time. Like this is literally like a shift of work with what you're doing. Same with Frenchie, digging out, going on an EVA, digging out bodies. That's like a shift of work. And same with Silas and Veronica and Clover. Like that's, so we're talking like montaging several hours of work here, so that we can all just make sure everyone's getting turns. So Big E and Chet, what are you looking to do over the course of these hours while you're in the engineering room?
Okay.
One of them obviously is you're trying to access the synthetic, right? The working Joe. Anything else that you two of you are looking to do here?
My job. So, I'm going to try and figure out what I need to do to get this ship fixed.
Okay.
Any critical things that I need to let someone else know about, like particularly if it comes to anything that requires interfacing with software at a higher degree of pressing buttons.
Okay. So I know you're better at heavy machinery than you're at Comtech, so and you're doing your job, so I think it makes sense for you to roll a heavy machinery as you're kind of checking more about like the physical systems as opposed to the software. Chet, you're probably going to be the opposite. Like you're probably going to be a Comtech roll if you're kind of getting to the programming of an android's brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aw.
I'm a necromancer.
Chris.
I will make the dead speak.
Oh, jeez. I love Chet. I thought I
Chet.
was gonna hate Chet, like love to hate Chet. I just find him adorable now.
Hey,
Playing
you
with
know,
the spoils.
everybody's got their thing, but I don't think that you want to be romancing this neck. Okay.
No, okay. I'm not the one asking about mouth holes, and I'm not romancing anything. Okay.
Oh, good. All right. Well, get back to work.
Okay.
We old man.
All right. So Adam, with Biggie, go ahead and roll a heavy machinery, and then Jeremy as Chet, go ahead and roll a Comtech as you're messing around with
Okay.
getting into the android's brain.
There you go. Wait a minute.
So far, Christopher, they have. I mean, we've talked about split the party before, but boy, are they split the party. They're in two separate spaceships, and they're hours and hours away from the other in the middle of nowhere in space. That's what's going on right now. Okay.
I need to roll stress.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of work that you've been doing a lot of work, and there's still piles of like, there's like blood and bullet holes and pieces of synthetics all over the place. You're still, and like, it's kind of freaky. Every now and then, you hear like this vague like static going on in your radio. Like so often you hear kind of almost like there's something crawling around in the vent. Maybe one of the air compressors is just sort of glitching out, you know, so you kind of try to justify it in your mind. You're not hearing ghosts, you're not hearing things. There's just probably kind of a faulty gasket somewhere, no big deal. But yeah, you're starting to get a little bit of a shake.
Big E, whenever he's pressing buttons, it's no longer like a beep, beep. It's like a beep, beep, beep. He starts to tremble.
The good news is that you rolled 2 successes, and so, yeah, you're good. In terms of what's up with the ship, you learn a couple things. You learn, first of all, power's flowing just fine. You also learn that the displacement drive is mostly intact. From what you learned, it looked like it was down for a bit, but then repairs were being made. Like you can see that somebody had already been kind of going through and replacing certain things, going through some replacement parts. Somebody has been at this fixing, and you know exactly what to do. It's super easy, not a problem, a little time consuming, but you're able to kind of finish those repairs. What that means though is that at some point the displacement drive went down. Like you can tell that this isn't working, and you don't notice anything in particular that suggests kind of internal damage. As you start going through some of like the engineering logs and stuff that are now accessible since you've ran some power down here, you can see that like there was some kind of external kind of rupturing or something like that, some kind of force that hit the ship, or the ship made some kind of contact, and that kind of threw a few things off. And so they've been digging through. You can see like all these little logs about the different vents that they had to dig through and such. But the engineering logs don't go back. They're not super exhaustive. They're just sort of very by the book. Like this was repaired, then this was repaired, and that was repaired. They're not like a narrative or anything. But yeah, it looks like you can fix it, you can finish it, but at some point, something exterior caused the displacement drive to malfunction. The other thing you can determine is the conduit itself. Why that specific conduit was chosen. Like as you start going through some of the schematics of the ship and how things are routed, that conduit, yeah, it doesn't, like that one can be bypassed pretty easily, but the only thing that seems in direct contact with is these containment labs around the science labs area in the middle of the ship. The labs that Veronica and Clover had said were being under guard. Like this somehow feeds power directly into the door control and environmental control in those areas.
All right, well, looks like something hit the ship from the outside. And then power was shut off to the doors on these areas here. So I started pointing to them. Now, it's kind of funny because normally if something breaches the hull, I mean, you just seal them, you know, like you just like turn the lever. I mean, you don't shut off power because once everything's all done, you just turn the lever back, right?
Okay.
I mean, and then, you know, us seeing that plastique, I mean, we're talking all sorts of weird sabotage and something, you know what I mean?
Not really. This is all really strange, but look what I got this
All
guy
right.
doing now.
Let me tell you again. Okay, so somehow or another we got hit from the outside. He just, but wait, what was he saying?
Oh, I hadn't turned on the vocals yet. I was just getting to like, I was using him like a puppet. I'm sorry.
So as you're messing around with him, like you do see the lights of the working Joe come on, like and it's like this glowy lights, a little bit of light coming out of the mouth too, and it kind of like there's a twitchiness going on in the mouth, but you can tell, yeah, it's functional now. What are you looking to do with it?
Initially, I was going to see if I could just, because like asking it a bunch of questions is nice, but if there's a way to just gain access to its memory or database or whatever, just kind
Sure.
of read through it.
Yeah. You 3 successes on your CommTech. You start diving into the code a bit, and really, basically, we'll say you can probably derive is commands, like what commands and routines was it specifically given to complete, which did it complete, and which has it not yet completed. So from what you can tell, there were a series of commands. One was to board, and so like as in board the Lavenza. One was to reroute power, and then another one was to retrieve from containment. And that last one has not been completed.
That's weird.
Hmm.
I don't feel like it's probably the best idea to like walk around with a head. Is there a way to like save that information on a data device or anything?
Sure, I'm sure you have something on you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna save this for later.
Hey,
This
wait,
is
what
really
you saving?
strange.
What you saving?
The basically this thing I'll explain like the directives it was given. Like it had completed these two, but it was supposed to like retrieve something, and it hadn't completed that yet. What the hell that has to do with it planting explosives?
All right, well, you see, I think you should not save that on your device.
Why not?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you know much about the way your company is, but your company doesn't like things being taken from it, even information.
Oh
That
no,
could-
I'm gonna share this with my dad,
Well, that could get your dad in trouble.
or it could give him leverage.
What?
Look, I mean, sometimes knowing something is better than not knowing. I mean, I'm not gonna let my dad know about this?
I think I need to start taking lessons from you.
Well, yeah, hey, you know what? You know, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, you know, we'll almost make a regular person by the time the day is done.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
You're all right, Biggie.
So, speaking of Papa, we'll come back. We'll head over to the Cletus. Oh, Christopher, thank you so much. That's 500
That's
bits.
fantastic.
Time for a security robot rampage.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah,
We already had one.
I'm gonna
You
say
did.
it's gonna bite somebody. I gotta do it. It's 500 bits, so I'm gonna
right.
roll 1d6 for each 100 bits, and one of them is gonna bite Chet.
I'm gonna dodge that if I can.
I failed. That's I got no 6s. 2, 3, 4, 1, 3. You're okay.
I go to try and puppet it like. Oh God!
Okay, so let's shift over then. Cleety time. Hours have passed. Where are the three of you at? So where are we at on the ship? You have the free reign.
I'm gonna be on the bridge.
Okay. Clover, Veronica, where do you want to be?
I'm in my room.
Okay. All right.
I'm in the hydroponics lab.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or I'm not at the hydroponics
No,
lab.
no. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Actually, I am strangling the ferrets to death.
Are you really?
God.
No.
Oh,
Could you do that to
shnikes.
someone?
my goodness.
Wow!
Wow.
Somebody didn't see that coming.
That's my dad.
No, I'm on the bridge.
Bert, anything 100 or above, just tell me what you want and we'll make it work. Yeah. Okay. So you begin on the bridge. You start getting sensor pings, like you're getting like close proximity, and you start digging through some of those navigational pings. It appears that the signal is pretty close. It's probably been about 6-7 hours or so. But go ahead and roll a Contech as you start trying to make sense of some things.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm all right with that. I got a success.
You don't get you don't see any ships. You don't see any transponder codes, nothing like that. There's no one signaling back and forth. Now, it still could be here. There could be some malfunction, but nothing's popping up. You do, however, you are getting one kind of proximity warning, security warning, and there's a kind of an asteroid within the very close radius of you, and it seems that that's where the ping is coming from. And it's a fairly large
Okay.
asteroid.
I was going to ask how big it was. Okay.
Mhm.
Can I see anything on the asteroid? Can I scan the asteroid itself for any signs of a base, a ship, life forms?
Okay. So yeah, you can. I want to roll a piloting test.
I'll
Okay.
push it.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Roll your stress. A nervous twitch, your stress level, and all friendly PCs. Well, they're not near you. They've already
It's just
identified.
me.
So it's just you. You go up a little bit.
Okay.
And one of the reasons you get a little stressed is as you're trying to take a little bit more control over the ship now, navigate a little bit more closely, see if you can do kind of a visual as best you can of stuff. You hear something slam up against a hull. And then there is this sudden and violent vibration as everybody on the ship can now feel it. Clover and and Veronica and Silas, all three of you take stress.
Okay.
And I got to roll something really quick.
What you rolling?
Nothing. You'll see it in a second. Okay.
Oh, well, that's problematic.
You, on the bridge, you immediately start seeing all these warning lights start showing up on all of the consoles, like everywhere. Things are popping up. You're getting all these red blinking lights. Things are kind of going crazy. Mother is kind of glitching out, like you're seeing a lot of the screens. Clover, Veronica, there's like in your various locations, you're in your quarters, so you can hear just outside of you, there's various consoles out there that are just basic emergency signals. Clover, you're seeing a flickering of lights as the lights kind of dim radically. The emergency lights come on. You feel the shudder. A few of your plants go tipping over, and you manage to steady yourself.
So Clover will kind of immediately leave all the dirt where it is and go running up to the bridge
Okay.
to see what is going on.
Go running up to the bridge, and you see Silas kind of he's at the helm, awkwardly trying. What do you want to do? But you're seeing all of your consoles are starting to flicker. Your helm control is it's pretty sluggish at this point. You can tell you're probably not too familiar with the layout of the ship yet, but you can tell something happened beneath you. Like you almost smashed into something underneath the bridge.
What are you doing?
What did you do? What did you touch? Quick, get over there. Get on that console.
Yes, I will fix whatever it was you did. I was messing with my plans.
I did?
What did you do?
No insubordination. You walked in here and all these lights started going off. Everything started going haywire. I don't know what you touched.
Nothing, but I can figure this out. So, would it be Comtech?
Yeah, go ahead and roll Comtech.
There.
Okay. That's a really good roll. As you start getting on nav control and you start kind of trying to dive into the sensors a bit, bypassing some of these glitches, and you notice just in time that just as your ship bumps into it, that this asteroid is surrounded by orbital mines. And as you're punching in a last command and you're shouting out to Silas about what's going on, there's another horrible shudder. The hull shakes and rattles. Everything kind of flickers off a bit. Veronica, that little like emergency sound that you've had before that was going completely shuts out, and it's just there's static on the comms.
You idiot! There's a minefield.
What did you call me?
Drove us into a minefield.
What did you call me? I'm taking that out of your shares.
What are y'all doing to my ship?
Hello? Anybody there?
I'm assuming we don't hear anything.
You do not hear, no.
Hello?
Can I try to find a safe
Yeah.
path?
Yeah, as you start kind of going through and trying to navigate a specific path, your console shuts off. Completely shuts off.
Shuts off.
Like everything in this bridge shuts off. Navigation off. Suddenly helm controls lost. All the lights in the console gone. The whole bridge goes dark. Veronica, in your room, whatever, like the running lights and stuff, the little things at the top of the the ceiling goes off. And you hear like
I've been
this.
blinking.
You hear this sudden drain kind of happen, and in walks Hester, kind of coming in like B. Arthur, and she says, Mr. Worthington, I seem to have lost connection with Mother.
We're in a damn minefield. Get over here and help us find our way through.
Yes. What are your commands? She's moving around stiffly.
I don't know. What do we need to do here? Pilot? Is that it?
Roll another piloting test. Yeah.
We're the same, aren't we? Are both at a 3, Clover?
We are both at a 3. If you insist,
I'll do
Mr.
it.
Person in charge.
I'll do it.
You did such a good job
You-
last time.
Stress.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm starting. Do something. You're messing up, Clover.
That's my dad.
Oh, okay. I gotta roll on the other one now.
We're gonna die. The ship's gonna blow up. Where's that crazy doctor?
No!
Oh my god. Oh no.
My goddamn ship.
Good night, everybody.
Wow.
No. Oh. You killed my dad, Clover.
Damn it. Silas, you killed my ferrets.
Oh, good job on that.
That can't be true. We had the cat.
So
Oh my god.
as you're shouting and yelling, holy shit! As you're shouting and yelling,
Oh no.
there is another sudden explosion, and you feel the ship shake and ripple, and there's a cascade of explosions, and you all get like one last thought, one last action you would like to say before the ship explodes.
I
Hello?
blame the
Is
ferrets.
anybody there? Hello?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Clover?
Clover is just gonna sort of just look over at Silas and just be like, "You fucking idiot."
All right. Bert gave us 500 bits. This is what I'll say. All three of you roll mobility. See if you can get to escape pod.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's
wow.
that's my compromise. The ship's blowing up,
Bert's throwing his money down.
but the
He was
500
alive.
bits, can you get? And you have to succeed.
Mm.
Oh
Push
no!
it. Push it.
Push.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! That's my dad.
Two characters.
That's my
Oh my
dad.
gosh.
I would like to point out that Matt's character died and I became captain. Now, when Matt's character dies, do I become a father?
oh no.
Look after my
Captain
boy,
Carrion
Frenchie.
bought you a reroll. man.
Oh, Captain.
Go
Carrion,
ahead.
Thank you.
They're bits.
I'm so disappointed. Go ahead.
I like that. It's fun. I like fun. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, Captain.
Wow.
Meant to be.
I just feel like you're supposed to die at this point.
I think so. I've done
Matt
it to
dies
enough
in the end.
players.
Okay.
Oh, another reroll from Captain Carrion.
Okay. This is
Yeah, I
how
got
it's gonna
enough
play.
Success.
What's that?
Party alive.
I got a success.
You got a success, yeah. I think
And
everyone-
Clover did as well.
Yeah,
Clover
a
got one too.
Am I gonna
So
roll again here, Captain Carrion?
Poor man.
give you another reroll. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he gave me.
Go ahead.
You sound so disappointed.
Because I'm honoring the bits, but it's hilarious that your character dies. Okay.
I'm okay with dying.
Okay.
All right, but I got stressed.
This is what we'll say. Okay.
Oh, he's frozen
Oh, you
and
As
frozen by
the
fear. It is
explosions
dead.
as the explosions begin to go off, like this cascade of explosions throughout the ship begin to go off. Like Clover, I feel like you probably know what's happening. It's like you gotta go, get to the pods. Veronica, you're getting to the pods, and you look and there's Silas just standing there, frozen, like unsure what to do. You grab him, drag him along with you, and then the three of you get in various pods and you pop out just in time to watch the Cleety Shine just start to rupture and just rip apart. And the three of you are now floating in escape pods. I think, though, that, I don't know, I want to roll, like, maybe we'll do an injury for Silas on his way out as his explosion goes. Something for him to remember this by.
One of those things where
Scar
like
he'll carry.
we just dragged him as sort of like, dragging somebody by the leg, and you just like bump their head as you go.
As you drag, you just somehow, like, as you go to push him into the pod, his face slams against the frame of the pod. You just knock out a bunch of his teeth, and you throw him inside the pod. There we go.
not manipulation. Anything but manipulation I would be fine with.
It's healable. It'll heal in a day. Okay. Okay. So the Khalidi Sinum is now in pieces. The three of you are floating around in your escape pods in a minefield around this asteroid that's giving off a distress signal.
Oh no.
Let's cut back to the other ship now. That still is intact. And we have, we see Frenchie, we see Colonel Winters. Two of you are in the science lab that Clover and Veronica were kind of inventorying stuff. They're clearing off some tables. They throw this, you have this body and this tarp that you dragged all the way here. And you throw the body on top of this table, and it's frozen. It's hot. It's frozen solid. And she turns to you and she says, "Do we have a fucking doctor? Like, we have two, you have two. I can't find a fucking doctor anywhere." And so she's like, "One of yours? What are they called?" And this is to Frenchie. She's like, "Where's your damn doctors?"
They went back onto the Khalidi Sinum.
God damn it. And you can see that, like, there's a door open on the southern wall of this room, and there's like a fresh body in there, and she just kind of looks at it. She just looks at it. She's like, "That stupid son of a bitch." So she gets on the radio and she's like, "Hey, Dr. Ying Sui, can we get you in the medical labs? Over. Doc." there's like no response. And this is open channel. Everyone hears it. Nothing's going on. And she says, all right, just hang out with the body here. I'll be back. I'm gonna go see if I can find her. So she leaves.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. What are you doing? You're alone in this room with a frozen body with a giant hole in their chest. And then there's another body recently mowed down by weaponry. And then down the hall, you know that apparently there's like 2 mercs that are watching a containment room.
So all that was said over open channels, right?
All that was over open channel, yeah.
I'd be like, hey, we got 2 doctors.
So, I don't know, Frenchie, how do you react?
Hey there, buddy. They went back to the ship, and the ship left.
Oh, it did, all right.
What?
We don't. Yeah, they went to go check something out. I don't know, something with the colonel and Silas.
Oh. All right. Well,
So it's
I
just
mean,
you
I-
and Chet here right now.
I guess you got to have some kernels to make some popcorn, huh?
Yeah, that's the truth.
All right. Well, we're working on getting this fixed, so I
Okay.
just kind of go over some of the damage I found, and it's like, well, we need to get this done, that done. Anything you all find that needs to be done?
We went for a spacewalk. Found a giant hole in the side of the ship.
You went on a spacewalk?
I went on a spacewalk. I know how to spacewalk. I got a desk job now, but I can still go out every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, we used to be the ones the only ones that had to go, and
It was the good old times. You should have been there because it was fucked up, man. It was
think
real
a nice
fucked
spacewalk.
up.
every spacewalk is, bud.
This was special. I'll talk to you about it when we meet back up here in a minute. Right now, I'm babysitting a corpse.
Oh well, I mean, tell it it's bedtime. Let's get going.
Yeah. I hate to say it. The colonel told me to stay here. And,
Oh, okay.
I don't want to get on her bad side.
No,
She
I don't want
seems
to either.
very. I've got a lot of respect for her and a lot of fear for her. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's something about them mercenarium types that's got that fear factor. I mean, they're almost a regular fear factory.
Frenchie, while this conversation is going on, you suddenly hear a somewhere like a little
In the room.
somewhere around here. Yeah, you can hear it. You thought, I mean, for a second it almost sounded like static, but it wasn't static.
I'll get my flashlight out, kind of look around real quick.
Roll an observation.
Two successes.
Okay. You see a vent. On one side of the room where there's a bunch of these broken tables and things that had been pushed into the corner. And you see like the tail of something just disappear into this vent. Like
That's also messed up. Now, I've probably helped Big E fish somebody, anybody, and nobody out of vents before.
sure.
Going against Chuck's better judgment here. I want to, see if I can get a crate or something to look up there. Save maybe someone lost a cat or something.
Oh, it's on the ground.
Oh, it's on the ground?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get my flashlight and I'll lean over and take a peek inside.
You're a beautiful man. You get down, you look inside, and right as you do, this yellow-green hand rears up and leaps out at you.
God.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say go ahead and roll a mobility. If you fail, it's going to get an attack off. So roll mobility. See if you can dodge out of the way fast enough.
Yeah.
Whew.
That's a dodge.
4 successes.
Okay, yeah. So you see it, and then you just lean back, and this thing goes just hurling over top of you. All right, it rolled twice there.
Oh, it did. Okay. Well, I got
Almost-
either 3 successes or 2 successes.
Looks like I got. No, you got 4 successes with your first.
Oh,
roll.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
4
You're
successes.
good. I was just gonna delete
Okay.
that so we don't have to see the.
The blinking, yeah.
Except mine's frozen. Okay, whatever. So anyway, you lean back. This thing just goes flying over top, and it is much bigger than you thought it was. It's like a giant hand with these big, gnarly, swollen knuckles, this long tail hanging out behind it, and like there's this weird kind of soggy center right where the palm would be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you just manage to lean back as this thing flies over top of you. What do you want to do?
2 things. I want to grab my pistol out
Okay.
and start blasting, and
Alright.
then I also want to yell for help like a scared small child.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. It could be worse. The ship could have exploded.
Too soon.
Uh-huh.
No, it literally just happened. Not too soon.
I just love
There it
Clover
is.
cursing him out.
Oh God.
I want to go ahead and push.
Okay.
It's not. I don't have a push button there. Why isn't it letting me push?
Yeah, I'm getting some lagginess on Foundry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna reload it really
same.
quick. Might have crashed. Music stopped working too. There it goes. You got 2 successes. Got to roll stress.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm waiting. I hit the stress button.
I just went and reloaded my my Foundry, and it's taking forever to reload. I'm gonna go ahead and just roll its armor really quick in the other one. Yeah, it's completely lagged down. Huh. Well, that sucks. One sec,
Foundry,
folks.
It can't handle the intensity. Of,
I know, like, I'm sorry. Wait, the ship exploded and someone's getting attacked by a facehugger at the same time?
is it-
And someone got bit by an android? Okay.
Great game or greatest game?
Let's see. Do I have anything over here? You're gonna have to trust me. I'm just gonna hit a dice roller
Sure.
online. I only have 2 armor, so I'm just gonna roll 2d6s. First is a 3. Second is a 3. 2 3s. So yeah, both of those go off. Your damage goes off. You unload into this thing that's right next to you. It explodes, shooting acid all over the place. And you good news, bad news situation. Like, you definitely mow it down as it flies over top. You quickly look down, you shoot down almost like towards where your foot is. You're shooting right between your feet that are just sticking up, and I know how much you like that. And there it is. You blow this thing up. Acid just kind of explodes, and let's see, it's a 4, so 1. That's 1 success. 2 successes, so it should be 2 points of acid damage your way, as it looks like it's finally kicking back in. Take 2 points of damage as your feet are just coated with this yellowish green blood that just exploded from this creature that you just shot.
And my panic went through too. Seek cover. So
Okay. And you're shouting into the radio for whoever or
Yeah.
you're just shouting maybe. You're just hopefully it's into the radio, who knows. And you just look for cover, and there's tables around.
oh yeah, I just dive
Yeah.
recklessly on my stumps of feet.
Okay. I'm going to roll 50-50 on this. So if I roll 4, 5, 6, you got it into the radio. Okay, so you got it into the radio. Chet, Big E, you're down and injuring, not too far away. You hear Frenchie I don't know, what does Frenchie scream into the radio?
Oh shit, help, oh shit.
You loaded?
Yeah.
Let's go get that son of a bitch, because I think it's an android. So I go charging off, torch ready to go.
Okay.
I'm a robot slayer!
Okay. Both of you roll mobility tests to see how fast you get there.
Okay.
If you do really well, we'll say you get there like super fast. If you fail, then you'll still get there, just slower. That's all.
I need to roll stress.
Try that again.
Drop an item.
Okay. The torch that you just pulled out, you now
Yep.
drop onto the ground.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
It's weird. I'm clicking it, but it's not.
It
Yeah.
went through.
You had 3
It's-
successes.
Yeah, you had 3
Okay.
successes. You're good. It's just being laggy right now, unfortunately. So it is what it is. I don't even think the actual overlay thing is updating. The one that I roll from. Let me go ahead and see if I can reload it there so that
Yeah.
folks can
I'm
see
still
the
seeing
diagonals.
Frenchie's panic.
Yeah, the blinking. I noticed that too. It's okay.
Oh.
We'll work through it. So yeah, with this success, the two of you just bolt, and we'll say it probably takes you the equivalent of maybe like 4 or 5 rounds. Like, and you're just running as fast as you can. You don't notice anybody, by the way, along the way. You do remember coming over here with like about 12 people, and yeah, you don't really see anybody along the way. It's kind of odd here, but eventually you make it into the actual place where Frenchie was just yelling from, and you're looking around. You see on the ground there's this shriveled up like hand with like a long tail attached to it, yellowish green. There's this goop that's pouring out to it. There's a little bit of steam coming up from the metal grating, and it's just like eating through the metal. So,
Whoa.
You all right, buddy?
and Frenchie, you hear Big E's voice.
Oh, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. Is it dead?
Oh, that thing?
Yeah, that thing attacked me. That was.
What is that?
It's a giant goddamn hand.
Are there any like? Is there anything made of glass around here?
Yes, a lot of things are.
Okay. Should scoop some of that up. Save it.
Okay.
Because acid won't go through glass.
Go ahead and you scoop a little bit up. There's various vials and stuff. You can get a sample if you want. Sure. Okay.
This
Oh.
is messed up.
Hey, you know your stuff. That's pretty good. So I was wondering what would be so caustic that it would have eaten through the metal that we saw before. You know, because normally I use stuff that'll clean dirt off of metal pretty good and rust and stuff, but so that ain't no cleaning.
I was wearing my spacesuit. Would this have damaged my spacesuit?
Yeah, it would have actually.
Okay.
If you're wearing the suit, yeah.
Yeah. So 8 holes through the feet of my spacesuit. And I would show them like, this hurts like you wouldn't believe. 8 right through my damn shoes.
Oh man. Okay, so there were like a lot of people here. Like there was like a merc at the place where we were doing the thing with the synth, and they weren't there anymore, and like nobody's here. So there are like robots pulling people up in the shafts, and there's like weird hand acid bleeders. Where can we go back to the ship now?
Oh,
Ship's
shit.
not here.
That's right. Oh, fuck. I mean, pardon me.
That's all right. That's fine by me. I'll go out in the hall and I'll peek. Do I still see those 2 Marines that were?
You see something. They're laying on the ground though.
Oh goddamn. Let's go to the escape pods.
Wait. Oh, we close to any planets or nothing?
I have no idea.
French, you can make a retroactive comtech. You were on the bridge for a bit.
Sure.
Everyone's just gonna be at escape pods now.
I got a success.
Yeah,
Stress.
you're not really sure. If you hit the bridge again, you might be able to. I'll let you roll it again. You don't recall any specific planet that you were nearby, and they were so tight-lipped about it, about where exactly you were. You were like between systems, but they didn't say what system. But you.
We're all gonna die, man. We aren't next to any planets. We're all gonna die. It's game over, man.
Hey,
Okay.
hey. Buddy.
Scream for one round.
I'm curious, like what sort of parameters would you put on me to use my hidden stash talent?
I mean, nothing. What are you looking for? What are you looking to get?
So I mean, Chet was sneaking around with a bunch of like Marines and
Yeah.
specialized hardware, and maybe there's even the chance that one of these disappeared Marines might have left something on the ground that he snagged to keep hidden.
Okay. What are you looking to keep? What are you looking to have? What do you want?
It's probably okay. And this is a long shot. I'm very happy if it's a no. But is there any chance he might have snagged a motion tracker?
A motion tracker? Sure. Let me check your stats really quick. We'll say, I mean, roll like, I don't know, roll ops or roll mobility, since it's like a snatching thing. It's like a stealing thing.
Okay.
Roll mobility. Yeah, I'll do that.
Because I know that would have been a hard thing to grab, but
Yeah.
Sneaky little
You have a
bastard.
motion sensor. It's gonna
So-
have. We'll say it's at
Oh.
power level 4.
Yeah, looks right. Chuck, you'll need to decrease your stress by 1, but we need to make
Saw
a
that.
panic roll. Yeah.
Okay, so will you guys promise me that you won't be mad if I show you something?
I'm going to say yes. I won't be mad.
I pull out the motion sensor. I found this.
I want you to answer me honestly here. Did you steal that?
I plead the fifth.
Because if you did, that's fucking badass, kid.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's pretty goddamn cool.
Okay, yeah.
So while you two are having this conversation, you look over at the doorway that, let's say, Biggie is looking down this hallway towards these 2 containment labs, and in the hallway right in front of them, there's these 2 Marine bodies just laying on the ground, motionless, and Biggie is just standing frozen solid right there in the middle of the doorway, and like you two are laughing and joking, showing stuff, and he never once turns around.
Do I notice that he's
Oh,
hard
yeah.
locked?
Oh yeah, the two of you
Uh,
definitely can notice this.
Big E? Hey, buddy. Hey, and I'll walk up to him. I'll limp up to him and give him a pat on the shoulder, like, hey, you with us?
I think. Do you have to make a check to get somebody out of their panic?
It's only for a round that you're frozen.
Oh, okay.
So it's like if he wanted to do it prematurely, which we're not in combat, so it doesn't really
Cool.
matter.
Yeah.
That
All right.
increases my stress as well.
Yeah. Sorry. So, I think I figured it out.
What do you got?
All right. So the working Joes, they had some steps to do. They had step 1, and I'm forgetting those steps that they had. I remember step 3, which was retrieval, but they didn't
Yeah.
complete that. What was
Step
the first
1
2
was
steps?
board. Step
Mhm.
2 was reroute power.
Okay, step 1 was to board this ship, and then step 2 was to reroute the power. And what they was doing is they was rerouting the power outside of these rooms here, and I'll name them off. And then their step 3 was to retrieve. It didn't say what they was retrieving, but I'm assuming step 4 was profit, because that's how them lists always work out. Whenever there's question marks.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so but I mean if that's what they was trying to retrieve, is that point over towards the hen? I mean, if we're supposed to retrieve this for a company and all, that I suppose we're supposed to try, but I don't like it. So
I agree.
anyhow, if we use them escape pods and there's any more, they find us, they're gonna short of pay or whatnot. We don't know how long the ship is going to be gone. They never said where they was going, right?
They didn't. No, I didn't know anything about it. I knew it was leaving when I saw it fly by while I was outside.
I mean, they'll be back soon, right?
I hope so.
Okay, well maybe we should use escape pods, but I'm
Yeah,
kinda nervous.
So as you
let's
guys
try
are talking, you hear Colonel Winter's voice come on the radio. And she like calls out a couple different names of Marines, like trying to get them to respond. No one responds. Then she says, Captain Fries, Big E, anybody getting this?
Yeah, I'm picking you up loud and clear. I gotta tell you, something ain't right here. Your two troopers down the hallway here guarding that room are both on the ground right now. I don't know.
You see,
I
and
came
she's
out of
goes,
that.
shit. You guys know how to go ahead and she like kind of thinks for a second. You're gonna have to listen to me really carefully.
You got it.
I want you to close that door, and I want you to double time it up to the bridge now. Don't look for anything else. Just go.
You got it.
Okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
So you start running. You get up to the bridge. You can see that there's Winters. There's like two other people up there with her, and you can see that they're kind of covered in something. They get like a couple of them have burns on their faces. They didn't have those
I'll point
before.
my feet out like, you got me too.
And they're like, they look at you and they kind of give you a begrudging kind of respect. And Colonel Winters is like, well, I think things are a little bit worse. We just picked up a signal of a major detonation. I don't know how to say this, Captain, but it's coming from the direction your ship just went.
Fucking Christ. I just got that thing. Oh.
So we'll cut over then to the three of you who are floating around in escape pods. I've been looking while you guys have been doing your scenes to see if there's any rules like for control. I'm just going to say because it's fun, because I couldn't find one way or the other. I'm going to say there's very minimal control. Like you don't have any like major engines or anything. We're talking about like just simple thruster control. You're looking around. Now your pods are small. You're not too concerned, I would say, actually about the mines, because you do see more floating as you're peeking out. But I mean, you have some basic controls in here. Shoot out a radio SOS type of thing. You're still getting that distress signal from the asteroid as well, and there is a fairly large asteroid not too far from here.
Is there a distress signal that I can initiate from my escape pod?
Absolutely, yeah. You don't have to roll for that.
I'd like to do so.
No problem. Yeah. So, yeah. What are the three of you doing?
What can we
If
do?
you haven't figured out yet, I didn't think this was going to happen. I'm entirely prepared for this.
Oh shit.
But this is
what
fun.
can we do in an escape pod?
We'll say very modest movement. Like you can shoot a signal. You can modestly control like thruster. You could try to find a place to set down if you want. There's really the only place is this asteroid. But
Is the asteroid. Let's go to the
it.
asteroid.
Okay.
We're in our own pods, so am I the only... Or...
Everybody's
We
in their own
communicate with each other?
pods. You can communicate.
I'm going to the asteroid.
Okay. So you hear Silas say, "Boop, boop, boop," because he doesn't have any teeth anymore.
Spitting blood out.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no right.
Okay. But yeah, you guys go over to the asteroid. Just because I'm an asshole. Roll piloting tests to do this. All three of you
one
gotta
success.
do this. That's all you
I'm
need.
not going to the asteroid.
Okay, that's fine. If you're just floating, you don't gotta do anything.
Okay.
Okay.
I
so-
will be
roll
be
stress.
floating as close to my buddy as I can.
Okay.
So I definitely want
Okay.
to
I'm
keep
gonna
Mars in
have
my
my
sights.
my face pressed against the glass just to watch what Silas is doing.
Okay. So
Like,
You-
what other crazy stuff is he doing?
you see one of the escape pods going to this large asteroid. Eventually disappears out of view. Just the perspective isn't quite there. But you can see the asteroid. But at a certain point, you kind of lose the actual pod itself. You can see there's one nearby you. It's definitely radioing out SOS. That's Clover's. But you see one of them just kind of settling down. You do notice, Silas, as you get closer,
Yes.
that there is some kind of installation, like really not very big. There's but you're noticing that there's some kind of installation, like some kind of small structure of some kind on the surface itself.
What does it look like?
Oh, it's not very big at all. It almost just looks like some kind of metallic shed has been carved into like this underhang of one of the asteroid itself. Like it's like built into the shadow as it slowly, and you can see blinking lights as if it's giving out some kind of signal.
I'm going for it.
It's not a ship. Doesn't look like a station, but it's something. You get a little closer,
hope.
and you can you're I'll carry over your piloting roll. It doesn't look big enough to probably house anybody. Why don't you go ahead and roll a comm tech? Go ahead and roll your stress.
Cover.
You open the door and you try to dive out and you get sucked into the back. That's fine. That's fine. You're panicking a bit, sure. Hands are shaking. But you notice what looks to be some kind of sensor buoy. And it's not a ship. It looks like as you get closer you kind of get some eye line on it. It's some sort of jury-rig nonsense. It's just like you're not really sure what the hell this is. Like, this doesn't even make sense. It's some kind of jury-rig sensor buoy that's probably been rigged to put out some kind of false signal. You would know with 2 successes, it's not uncommon for various crews, various pirate crews and the like, to give out fake signals to draw in ships and then lurch on over and kind of hijack as best they can. You start to put a couple things together in your head now as Lavenza got a distress signal, dropped out of FTL, then they got attacked or boarded by a bunch of working Joe androids. Stress signal's still going on. Probably occurs to you maybe something happened when they dropped out to investigate this.
Okay. Can I deactivate this thing?
Sure.
Start ripping wires out of it, whatever, just to...
Well, I mean, I don't think you have your... You would have your suit. Would you have had your suit on when you were in the bridge? I don't think you would have had time to throw it on before you hopped into the pod.
Okay.
We could say, yeah, we'll say just because it's fun. We'll say maybe the pods actually have suits in them. That's where you guys store them, in here or whatever. And so, yeah, if you want to go ahead and make a little walk over there, sure.
Sure. I want to make a walk and I want to start just
okay.
beating the hell out of this thing.
Just because of it's canon now. Whenever you do an EVA, you take a stress. So you can go ahead and take a stress.
Just lost the damn stress.
Yeah, so you get out there, and I'll roll your contact over. You did roll 2, but yeah, you can disable the signal, and it kind of shuts down at that point. You can see it goes dark.
Anything else here around me?
Yeah, there's it's not. You don't go inside. It's almost like there's just like a big satellite that's just anchored into this asteroid. Nothing. Roll an observation. Yeah, there's a giant alien. No, I would say that while there's nothing else, you could probably tell just from looking at this, whatever it is, this was certainly hacked together. This isn't. The materials that are in this thing certainly suggest that this is not corporate made. This is, possibly UPP stuff going on.
Space Russians.
Yeah, you could definitely see some old markings where some metal has been repurposed and things, some stuff like that gives you a suspicion.
Okay. Well, I've deactivated this and there's nothing left for me to do on this asteroid. I guess I'll get back in my pod and I don't know.
Okay.
Turn on my SOS signal.
So you turn on your SOS signal, and I mean, Clover, you've already had yours going off. And all 3 of you, if you want. You don't have to. You can just chill in your pods. That's fine. It's like a vacation. Roll contact if you just out of curiosity.
I would like to.
Yeah, go ahead.
1 success.
All of you can see it because it's there. It's big. Suddenly, like, your sensors are working better. You start to actually see that your sensor, like the little, they're pinging off the mines. You're so close. You're actually seeing them start to pop up a bit. It's almost as if like some of your navigational stuff was being somehow fogged up by whatever it was that Silas just shut down. But not only that, you get 2 sensor pings within range, one of which you can triangulate back to the ship, the Lavenza, that you just came from. But then you have another as well. Doesn't, you track it over the course of like an hour. It doesn't seem to be moving at high speeds. It doesn't seem to be moving. It's not FTL. It doesn't even seem to be moving at traditional engine speeds. It's just sort of there, whatever it might be. So,
Clover wants to try to hail Silas on the radio. We lost sight of you there. Where'd you go?
Setup. The whole damn thing was a setup. Pirates or something. UPP. Set up some sort of signal out here. I deactivated it. No thanks to you.
Sure. Maybe. Wish we'd have figured that out a little earlier. That could have been helpful information.
Before you blew up the ship, you mean?
What's your next brilliant idea?
We send out our SOS signals and we wait for the Marines to come get us.
Yeah, I've had mine on for like 5 minutes.
Have they made any
probably
contact?
longer.
No, nothing yet. But I can see things better now. So maybe there was something going wrong. Are you visible? We're just kind of floating out here. Feels a little exposed.
You can come to the asteroid if you want.
Is there anything else over there?
Just this deactivated signal.
Well, maybe we don't want to be right by there, because then if anybody knows we deactivated it, they know exactly where to find us.
Fine, stay in the mines.
Time is relative in space.
Thanks for the
Yeah.
philosophy. I'm gonna look around for somewhere that's not right here where this thing is, but
There's nowhere to go. You're in the middle of nowhere. There's nowhere to go.
it's in
This
the
is
little
The asteroid.
chunk of something to
Yeah,
Yep.
near.
sure. You can find your own corner of the asteroid to sulk away from Silence. That's fine.
Or else we each take our own corner. We don't
It's fine.
each other.
Everyone pick your corners. All right.
Yeah, Mars bar's still plastered against the glass. You see, like, her fogging it up a little bit.
Did you bring any no sleep with you?
No, I sure didn't.
Yeah, I would say
I
go
do.
ahead. Go ahead and roll a stamina test.
I'm gonna
No
pass out.
joke. I have a briefcase.
I'm
full
gonna
of
say
it.
2 successes
Gotcha.
required.
Too bad you're not close to the drugs. Mars
2
bar.
successes and 2.
You freezing on your way out managed to grab that suitcase.
Okay.
full of
I always have my
drugs.
briefcase. Never let my briefcase go.
It's one of those like
Handcuffs.
handcuffs.
Oh, Lord.
Roll stress, Jet. Just click on the stress on your character sheet.
Oh, oops. It's been so long.
Yeah. Okay, not so bad. You're fine. You're twitchy. You need something, and you're gonna need something fast, or it's gonna get ugly. You can feel yourself getting lightheaded. You can feel your hands starting to twitch. It's been way too long. With everything going on, like I feel like your system's starting to go into lockdown at this point. Like it's starting to shut down piece by piece. You're feeling your hands start to go, a little bit of numbness here and there.
Does this increase my stress since I'm trying to keep her
No.
occupied and focused?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. She's my buddy. I just, I
Okay.
could.
I'm in a
trying
pod
to-
in space. In time is relative.
So I'm going to try to position myself so that whatever direction she's facing, I'm facing the opposite direction. So I just feel like I'm just trying to
Okay.
keep an eye out for
Just
things.
remember, you're near a minefield, so you probably don't want to move too much. But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's cut back to Lavenza,
Okay.
where there are a total of 5 of you on the bridge right now. You came onto this ship with 10 to 12 people. depending on whether or not you count like your own crew and whatnot. Right now, only 2 of the Marines are accounted for, or 2 of the mercs are accounted for. Radios aren't like no one's responding on radio. You just saw some alien creature try to attack Frenchie. Frenchie managed to kill it. You saw 2 of the Marines that were supposed to be guarding some kind of containment lab on the ground in the hallway. And now Colonel Winters has said to Frenchie that there's some large detonation from where your ship just went. How are you all handling this?
The Big E's gonna reach into his like button-up shirt, or no, he wears a t-shirt. He's gonna reach in there and pull out a chain that's got like an pentagram on it. That's got a star in the center. That's little tiny, like points on the star. Looks like it had gone on an ancient automobile. He like kisses it and puts it back inside of his shirt as he's going to use his signature item to try and
Lower your stress.
chill out.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh god, my signature item was destroyed in the ship.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
That's a shame. I think you could spend XP to get a new one. Or is that Vason? Might be Vason. Frenchie, as you're looking,
sit in a corner.
Frenchie, as you're looking at the consoles, and you can see that Winters and that other, other merc or other mercs are talking. Like another person, another random merc comes wandering as well. So there's a handful of folks that are starting to show up, but there's still quite a few missing. As you're at like helm control, you can see, and you're looking at kind of navigation. Suddenly, the sensors. It's almost as if like all of a sudden you can see things again. Like everything seemed a bit kind of clogged and fogged up a bit. Like you weren't getting some of these signals. You're actually tracking, because this vessel has fairly excellent sensors, but you're tracking all these other ships, like here and there, like kind of off and different. This is not an uncommon path like that you're on, and you also pick up that there's a distress call, a second one. There's like double distress calls coming from where that explosion was. There's another vessel too, no transponder on it, just moving, like kind of drifting almost. You're not sure if it's under power or not, nearby as well. Like in some kind of Bermuda Triangle thing going on here.
Well, first off, I would relay the information to the colonel. Second off, I think I would want to do a diagnostic on the sensors or something like that to see if I can figure out why there was nothing and now there's something. Like,
okay, roll contact.
Yeah.
Okay.
A success. But I need to roll more stress.
Yeah, you definitely don't notice. Okay. So I guess maybe what triggers is that it all suddenly makes sense, as you don't see that there was anything wrong with it. You were in here before, things were okay. Like, you haven't changed anything. Suddenly they're working. Suddenly, like, you can see outside of some sort of blinded radius. And maybe in your mind you're starting to wonder, was all of this just some sort of strange trap? You hear the sound of distant gunfire somewhere else in the ship. And on the radio, you can hear people shouting, "Oh my god, what the fuck is that thing? Ah!" And then the gunfire starts shouting. And I think we'll end there for tonight. Figure
Oh my god.
what the hell we're doing.
Good stuff. I died, but Captain Karayan saving me multiple times.
In Bert, because I was going to let it go, but then Bert was like, I'm like, all right, I'll let you guys get to the escape pods at least. And then, then Captain Carrion saves you with their bits. Holy crap.
Thanks for the bits, everybody.
Yes, thank you for the bits.
Wow.
So that was the session.
We
Yeah.
started with the hype train and we had an explosion.
So let me go. I can go ahead and just take this piece of paper and just tear that up. Those are my notes for tonight. Don't really need them.
Oh my
goodness.
Oh Lord.
All right, let's go around and do some plugs again. We'll go in reverse order. So, Captain Frenchie,
Former Captain Frenchie. I don't think you can be a captain without a ship.
you're still on a ship.
I am. Maybe I'll be this ship's captain. Hey, I'm Chuck, Defenders of Cobalt. Find me twitch.tv/Defenders of Cobalt. We'll be on Wednesday and Friday and Saturday night. You can also find me on Free League Publishing every other Saturday for a Forbidden Lands game. You can find me on Goodman Games Official, the opposing Saturdays for whatever I happen to be running over there. And what else? Tomorrow night, Notorious DMG, or no, Steam Steel Murder on Bird's channel. Steam Steel Murder. He's hanging out in chat. You can hit his link to see the channel. He's running us through some first ed AD&D. So, yeah. And we got zines out. Look us up on DriveThruRPG.
Yeah.
Our latest issue, Jeremy Dies in the End, just came out this week, I think. And, yeah, go buy it. Inflate my ego.
Matt,
Oh,
what's going on?
wait, I'm not muted. Okay, I'm like, am I muted? Well, I'm used to having like 5 people ahead of me. Nothing going on this week, but you can find me over on the Free League Twitch channel most of the time. We've got some big stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned to watch for that. Some very exciting announcements coming up. Next week, Tuesday, you can find Jeff and myself over on Garbleye Games. We're going to start running the Masks of Nyarlathotep Call of Cthulhu adventure there. And yeah, that's about all I got going on.
Awesome. Jen.
Hey everybody, I will be on my channel Pixel Prowler tomorrow night with some of the Radiator RPG people. We will be playing Borderlands 3, and then I think we're doing No Man's Sky on Wednesday and definitely Satisfactory on Thursday, so check us out.
Nice. Adam.
I'd like to plug the gruenperilous.com website. If you just keep an eye on that, there's going to be some announcements coming out in the next few months or so about quite a few things. So that'll be probably the first place you can find what Gruen Perilous Studios has been doing on our own. So yeah, just keep an eye there.
Awesome. And Jeremy.
Well, I'll piggyback off of Adam. There's going to be some fun stuff on Grim Perilous Plays this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll also, we've always got some fun stuff over in the Pludecast with Matt and another buddy doing some comic book stuff, PLEWD. And yeah, just good times all around.
Very cool. And then for Melissa and I, you're on this channel. If you're watching this live, we'll be back on our own channel on Friday this week. We're going to be playing Best Left Buried fantasy horror. So we go from sci-fi horror to fantasy horror. And then next Monday, over on Free League Publishing, you can catch us running Vaesen, same time that we run Alien, so 9 Central, as we keep going with that as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw us on the end screen, and then I'm gonna go ahead and raid Diesel Shot. I know they're not playing Alien now, but they do play a ton of Alien, so I'm gonna go ahead and just give them a raid right now. So thanks all of you who threw bits and subs and stuff, and saved some of these people's lives. Very nice of you to do that.
Thank you.
Very appreciative. Have a great week, and we'll catch you next time. So, bye-bye.
Bye.